fatal heart impacts, past painful scars. In fact, I blast tasteful bars and pass. I back up my actions, fact don't ask, grab reactions, jacked attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose. Pick a new silver excuse, I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now, y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember, you're discreet now. Get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, whenever we last left off, we had Deku. And well, after Mirko's parents came to town, Deku, he didn't really have the best first impression on them. Along with that, Mirko's father, he already enough was not impressed with Deku, didn't really care about him, did not like him. He saw Deku as somebody who will be in and out of his daughter's life and basically turn her into a train wreck. Basically, he was somebody she liked. Then he left her because he was uninterested. Now, Deku, yeah, he was not happy with the way Mirko's father acted towards him. Whenever the two did actually stop to train, have lunch the next day, the man, he just was an asshole. And Deku can tell from clearly staring at her brother and seeing the way he does move and interact with his own father. He's terrified of this man. He's twice, maybe 3 times his size, and looks and seems like he's built like a Greek god. But he's scared of this tiny old man. It just doesn't make sense to him. He could probably literally crush his dad's head with one hand, snap his neck with 3 fingers, but he just seems so terrified of him. Now, this led Deku to think that the man may have been abusive towards both of the two. And Deku, he did not like that. Mr. Mirko, as I'll call it because I can't say their last name, leaving and informing Deku that if he does want to make real money, to join his company. Now, Deku, yeah, he is one thing, if not a super genius. Petty. Now, Deku, he bought the workplace Mirko's father did work at, buying out that small company and absorbing it into the Yaoyorozu Corporation. Not only increasing the amount of percentage he owns of the corporation, but at the same time getting on the board of committees and basically, at least after talking to Mr. Yaoyorozu briefly, informing him that he's going to be at least helping and advising further within the corporation. Now, Mr. Mirko was transferred to the office in the city, him being happy about that, and Deku at least revealing he's his boss now. Now, Deku, he just ordered Mr. Mirko to sit down, and the man, he did comply, since Deku is now his boss after all. Now, we'll pick up with Deku after doing this ballsy move. Now, he does just sit there, as he does stare at the man, who he is just looking down at his hands. And he does at least have them folded together in his lap. Now, Deku does ask the man to look at him. What do you want? Now, Deku does stay silent for a minute, the man rephrasing his question. Yes, sir. Perfect. Now, I'm well aware you do not like me. However, at the same time, you need to be aware. I don't really care for your opinions. Your approval would be nice. Your daughter does wish for me and you to get along. Do you understand this? I don't care. And that is exactly why we have a problem with each other. You do not care for what your daughter does feel, her emotions, the way she does act. You don't consider her own feelings, do you? What are you talking about? Exactly that. I am putting forward an effort for your daughter. I love her, so I will do this for her. You should feel the same way. However, you don't. That is my problem with you. You clearly don't know what you're talking about. She is an adult. You speak back to me. I'll have you know that that you what? Now, the man does bite his tongue. He wanted to say that he does have a real job, but Deku, he's literally sitting in his boss's desk. He is his boss now. Now, Deku does at least continue talking, informing him that he did take his advice, and that he's very curious. Does this not prove that he does at least have what it takes? Now, the man, he is enraged at Deku. This boy is not taking him seriously. Now, Deku does go back to talking. Listen, Mr. What is your name? Warren. Okay. Listen, Warren. Let me be quite clear. Me and your daughter have known each other for almost a year. I met her before... You know, we met that way. I met her before her heat. Yes, her heat started. Now, I met her long before that, actually. And me and her got along quite well. She saved my invention. In fact, she's actually the reason why I'm sitting here right now. If the men who had my invention got away with it, then I would be penniless and broke. However, I would still at least have some of my major degrees. In fact, I wouldn't be penniless, actually. I would have probably been able to reinvent it. It would just take me another 6 months. 6 months? Yes. Well, that's exactly what you can do. When all of you're really doing is working off of pocket money, stuff you have saved up from the job you quit, and even scrap metal that you find in not only a lab, but a junkyard. Now, the man, he's actually somewhat impressed by that statement. Deku, he made that bionic arm thing from scrap? Now, he does at least view Deku as resourceful. However, he also does at least view Deku right now in the situation as cunning and tricky. Now, Deku does continue on, informing Warren that it's quite simple. He's doing this as a show of, really, how he can be. The two, they can get along, and they can at least enjoy each other's company. Or they can even really just hate each other. Deku can send him far away from Mirko, and the possibility of them never seeing each other again is quite real. He needs to be aware of that. Now, the man does jump up, slamming his hands on the desk, informing Deku that Mirko, she can't even take care of herself, even though she's nearly 24. Now, Deku, he didn't even flinch at that. The man slamming his hands down and actually leaning forwards. Deku just still sitting there, as Deku does inform the man that actually she can. No, she can't. She's been irresponsible ever since she was a teenager. She got into fights every day, all the time. And because of her little brother follows in those same footsteps. You have no idea what she's been through. You don't even know a single thing about her, do you? Now, Deku, he does at least say a few numbers. 35, 22, 36, and at least 35 again. The man kinda confused, as Deku does at least tell the man that he knows very much about Mirko. He knows exactly how many scoops of sugar she likes in her coffee, what type of creamer she uses in her coffee, what type of milk. He knows her favorite color, and he actually does understand her personality a lot better than the man does believe Deku can. He's very intelligent. However, Deku doesn't have the answer to everything. He will admit that. He's never claimed to be that way. And the man should be aware. He needs to lessen his restraint on his daughter. He is trying to live her life, and force her to live it the way he wants her to. Mirko, she's her own individual. And if he can't understand that, this will be a real problem. Now, the man doesn't stare at Deku. As the man, he does at least start talking, informing him that he is nothing more than his daughter's self-relief tool, and that by the time her heat is over, Deku will just be gone. That's it. Now, Deku can tell by the way this man is looking at him. This man, he's got a bargaining chip, doesn't he? Let's see. Option A, B, and then option C. If I had to guess, knowing this man, he's not trusting. He's paranoid. He's clearly easy to anger. Alright. Option B. So, let me guess. You intend to blackmail me some way, don't you? Now, the man's smirk does somewhat quickly fade, as Deku at least does talk about how, yep, he's right, isn't he? The man's really hired a private detective to look into him. Now, the man he doesn't understand. How? How did Deku do this? Does he have access to his records, his bank statements, his cash draws? Has he been tracking him himself? Now, Deku does inform, Warren, that he doesn't even really need to do that. He can give Mr. Warren his entire life story right here and right now. Hell, he'll even pay him to listen, since they actually are on working hours. Now, Deku at least does go over it with Warren. His father left before he was even born. His mother worked herself to the bone to raise him. And from the day he was 6 years old, he knew that his mother had it rough. Imagine being born super intelligent. Imagine being able to know more things than the average adult at the age of 4 years old. You understand everything from the way the world works to how people act. Even whenever you yourself should be a happy-go-lucky, fun-loving kid who should be clueless about the world. Now, the man he is staring at Deku. As Deku he does continue on. His father's name is Hisashi Midoriya. While his name is Izuku Bakugo, he changed it years ago. And he's been going by Bakugo ever since. The man Mastro, he's the husband of Mitsuki Bakugo. And she is actually the college roommate of his mother. Because his mother worked so often and so much, she took care of him. Mastro is basically his father. And he's felt that way since he was a baby. He owes those two everything. In fact, he owes his mother everything as well. Recently, his father came back and he has been diagnosed with a terminal illness. And he's also tracked down one of his potential siblings. And he's actually known he's had a sister for a short period of time. Now, the man, he's very surprised. Deku went more into detail. This story took probably about almost an hour to tell. And the man, he was astonished and somewhat skeptical about it. There's no way Deku is telling him the truth. He's lying to him, isn't he? He just doesn't believe it. There's no way somebody would be this honest. And there's no way his daughter, the fiery, angry teenage girl he once knew, she would fall in love with a guy like Deku. He knows for a fact that his daughter, she isn't the smartest. She is very strong and hard-headed. If you ask her to use her head, she might just headbutt you, not try to think of a strategy. Now, he does at least try to piece it together with Deku. What does Deku see in his daughter? What does his daughter see in Deku? It does not make sense. Now, Deku does go to stand up, informing him that he does actually have to leave, since he himself decided to return to his actual job. You know, the thing that just bought his company. Now, as Deku does go to leave, there actually is where he does actually ask somebody outside if they would like to have a promotion. Now, the person they're actually very astonished and surprised, as Deku does appoint them the junior executive, and they are actually allowed into the office Deku is just currently in. Now, it's kind of intriguing. The man, he can see that there's Warren sitting in the office, so him and that guy just had a talk? Now, he does want to know why that guy, did this to him. Meanwhile, you actually have Deku. He looked in at least 5 of the top-rated people in the branch Warren worked in. Warren was considered to be number 1, so he gave the promotion to number 2. Now, Deku does understand Warren's work ethic. The man's a workaholic. He's strict. From what he does understand, this man, he might have had his own problems with the family in the past, and he wants to keep it together so desperately. Now, with that being said, you do actually have where Deku does go to look down at his phone, and he actually does get a message from his secretary. As she's talking about how Deku's potential, well, as you do want to call it, sibling is now in town. Now, Deku does inform her that the man, he actually can meet him at this location, and he'll actually be on the way. Now, Deku does drive back to his lab, as he does enter with the man, and the two they actually somewhat sit down and introduce each other. The man's very surprised. He would have never expected this guy to be his brother. In fact, the two they are very skeptical about doing a DNA test. They look so similar. It's just the hair. Now, this is actually where Deku, he does use the machine, extracting some of his own blood along with this man's, and then they do actually wait for a while. The machine running 10 different tests and confirming it 10 times. The two do share blood, and there actually is where Deku does meet his younger brother. As you do actually have Yoshido, or I don't know how to pronounce it. It's Yoshindo. Now, if you guys are unaware as to who this guy is, he's the guy who wore a thought floppy costume during the provisional license exams. I know people now know who he is since that statement. Anyways, the guy, he's very surprised. That means that the man who raised him, he knew he was his stepfather, but his early aged dad, he's not biological. He was, well, a stepfather. Now, the man, while he is somewhat disappointed and sad, he does actually notice Deku. Deku, he does seem to be a little bit more calm about this. Meanwhile, you do actually have Deku in his head. He's basically screaming about how Hisashi really can't just keep it in his pants, and that he might just find more, won't he? Now, with that being said, the man, he actually does hear Deku start talking. Okay, well, I know you and I just met, but would you like to meet Hisashi? Wait, what? Hisashi, our dad. Yeah. In fact, with you here now. Oh wait, when's your birthday? My birthday? Well, I am. It's in May. Oh, so that would make you the youngest. Oh wait, youngest? Not younger? No, youngest. I'm gonna take you to introduce you to our sister. I have a sister? Now, Deku and Shindo do leave. As after Deku does at least call Kelly and head to the place she's staying at, she is kind of surprised when Deku does introduce this man right here. And she actually is kind of weirded out by it. As they do walk into her studio apartment. And it's very interesting. The guy, he's surprised, yeah, but there's even, well, Kelly. If you never told him that these two were related, he would have thought that she was just some stranger. There's no way in his life did he think he'd ever have a sister, a sibling. It's just so bizarre to him. Now, Kelly does ask if he's already met their father, and Deku does at least look at Kelly, informing her that he hasn't. Now, Kelly does at least ask if things are going good with him and his girlfriend. Okay. Yeah. We're going fine. I just met her dad. Oh, and how'd that go? Well, that's a bit more complicated. He basically talked about how my job's not real. Oh, that's. I'm sorry. Don't be. I bought his entire company. Wait, wow. Okay, that's ballsy, I know. Yeah. The guy does look right at Deku. Deku just said that so casually. He bought a company? And he has a girlfriend? Wait, hang on. Uh, I don't have a nephew, do I, or a niece? Oh, no, 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 no. That's a bit too soon. Oh, alright. Now, the three, yeah. They do at least try to plan out how Hisashi can meet his, well, other son. And it's very hectic, to say the least. Now, with that being said, we actually cut back to Deku going back home. As whenever Deku does arrive back at Mirko's apartment, you do actually have where Mirko, she is sitting down and talking with her parents. Whenever Deku did walk in, Warren he did turn to look directly at Deku, as does at least have a glare that Deku can tell it's not anything good. Now, the man, he already has gotten a little tipsy. He got a couple drinks put in him. And he knows that that promotion he's always wanted, yeah, it's not an option anymore. Deku, he could just say no. He's not going to promote him. He's just pissed off now. Now, whenever the man does actually go to swing out and try to punch Deku in the face, Deku actually is going to do one thing. Deku actually going to somewhat bring his hand up and go to actually move his head out of the way. As whenever he does do that, he does actually catch the man's fist, as he actually has to go to ask exactly why is Warren so mad. Now, you do actually have Mirko, who whenever she did actually see that, she did try to jump into action. Her basically leaping from the table, and then her brother trying to do the same. As you do actually have where Mirko, she has tried to pull back her dad, well, her brother Reggie, he actually has tried to go and try to grab Deku. Now, whenever Warren was pulled away by Mirko, he was actually screaming, kicking, and, well, flailing, basically, throwing a bit of a hissy fit. While Reggie, he actually had basically forced Deku right onto the wall, pitting him there. As Deku just stare at the guy, and the guy, he does just stare directly at Deku. So you're defending him? I'm not. I can tell you're scared of him. Now, this does actually catch Reggie off guard. As Mirko's dad, he accidentally bonked his daughter in the face. Her actually going to move backwards and smash into a chair. As whenever he did actually get up, he did directly go rushing towards Deku. And whenever Reggie was told to get the hell out of the way, he basically just let go of Deku and jumped back. As Deku actually is going to respond by actually throwing out his own fist. Now, Deku has a longer reach, him punching the man in the face before he even actually does get to Deku. Now, the man got sent flying onto the ground, as Deku basically broke his nose. Now, Deku does inform the man that he's going to have to try a whole lot harder if he does want to try and take him on. He can take Mirko. I knew you and my daughter fought. Who said anything about fighting? Now, the man, he does get more enraged by that, since he does know what Deku just implied. Now, he does go to try and stand up as Reggie. He does actually go to look at both of these two. Before Mirko, she actually does go to walk up and really go to grab her dad by his ears, as she does actually go to pull him backwards and slam him against the wall. Now, Mirko does inform her father that he needs to calm the hell down. Now, it's actually very annoying to him. To him, to Warren, Deku, he doesn't deserve any of it. He doesn't get it. Deku was basically born with life on easy mode. He's had to go through multiple things. He feels like he's had it tougher than Deku because he doesn't believe a single word this man has said. In his mind, he's trying to protect his daughter from a con artist. He's scared for her. Every single day he sees her on the news, going out there and fighting against villains. That's his baby girl. That's the daughter he raised since she was young. The rowdy teenager. The one who she argued with him and she hated him because he had her best interest in mind. In his mind, he's trying to make sure his baby girl doesn't get hurt by some scumbag. Now, the fact is he sees Deku as some rich guy who's just playing his daughter. And really, he's just trying to say anything he can to get this guy to go away. He's protective. Too much, in fact. And he doesn't even realize it. To him, this is logical to him. To Deku, it's insanity. Now, with that being said, Mirko, she basically does at least force her father out of the apartment. And Mirko's mother, she does actually go to leave. As you actually have Reggie, Mirko's little brother. Now, he did go to leave, as you do actually have where Deku did at least try and tell the guy that he's sorry for punching his dad. But the alternative was him taking a punch. Now, Reggie, he actually has at least turned to look directly at Deku. And Deku does somewhat freeze. As he does just think, if the guy wanted to punch him, he would have already. So, there's something going on in his head, isn't it? Isn't there? Now, Deku knows the thoughts, but it could be different. Now, you do actually have where he does walk out the door. And with that, there is actually where Deku does turn to Mirko. As he does at least see that since she was caught off guard, she actually did take a blow to the nose. Now, it actually is kind of weird. Warren, he wanted to protect his daughter, but he doesn't even realize he just hit her. Now, Deku, he actually just asks Mirko after walking up to her if she's alright. Huh? Yeah, I think I'll be okay. My nose is just bleeding. Now, Deku, he does actually look down her nose down to her chin. It's already gone down her neck and onto her dress. Now, Deku, he at least is going to reach out, as he is actually grabbing Mirko by her chin and going to lift her head up a bit, bringing up his hand and actually telling her that he's going to check to see if it's broken. And this might actually hurt a bit. You okay? I'll be fine. Deku reaching his hand out. He does feel onto the area. It's not going to be busted. The guy just hit her right there on the bone. Right, well, at least a tiny bit away from the nose. Granted, that nostril will feel pain. I think you'll be alright. But there's a bit of a problem. Now, Deku does walk over to the counter and go to actually grab some paper towels. As he does walk over to Mirko and go to actually start wiping her down. Now, Deku, after at least going to grab another paper towel and giving it to Mirko, she does realize that there's now blood on her favorite new dress. And she does actually feel a bit angry. Come on, I just bought this. Hey, calm down. We can get the blood out of it. Shit. How do you get blood out of a blue dress? Crap. What was it? No, wait. It wasn't... Was it rubbing alcohol? Maybe? I don't know. What? Oh, crap. Now, Deku, he does at least tell Mirko that they can try to get this out with whatever they can. But for right now, they need to at least get it all kind of sorted and cleaned up. make sure her nose stops bleeding, and then, while that's going on, he can try to take care of it for her. And if it doesn't work out, he can take her out shopping and she can buy whatever she wants. Now, Deku, yeah, he feels like he may have caused this. He kinda screwed the pooch on that. He wanted to try to get the guy to leave Mirko alone. But clearly that's not gonna happen. He's still controlling. He went as far to attack him, knowing that he could possibly get fired from his job. Is he just that egotistical? Does he really believe that he runs her life? Now, with that being said, Mirko, she does actually at least try to think about what may have happened. And then there's her brother. Her brother, he's, well, just a little bit younger than her, but still. The fact is, he's just so, well, what's the right word for it? She can't put her hand on it. He's, what? Villains have them subordinate? He's like that. He's like her father's subordinate now. She just doesn't understand. The way he acts, he's basically like a dog. If you tell him to jump, he'll jump. And if he does something bad, you punish him. What did her father do to him while she was gone? It's kind of sad to her to think about. Now, with that being said, Deku does walk back into the room, as he does at least have a bag in his hand, and he does at least have a glass in the other. As Deku, he does at least go to bring up the ice pack. He does actually go to bring it up to Mirko's face, as she actually does somewhat flinch, and Deku does at least go to hand her something else, telling her that it might not help, but this will possibly help to ease the pain. Now, Mirko, she actually just going to take a sip, as she tastes the favorite drink Deku's made for her. The two, yeah, they do have some fun. Sometimes they do just stay with each other and hang out. Others, Mirko, she does hang out with Ryuko. But yeah, with the fact that Deku, he does like to sample and even taste certain types of alcohol, such as whiskey, bourbon, and many other things, Deku's at least experimented with some holiday-themed drinks. And Mirko, she's drinking something that tastes like coffee and peppermint. But it's also at least got a tiny hint of something she really enjoys. Mint. Now, she does actually at least somewhat smile after throwing it back and actually going to swallow it. Thank you. No, it's fine. I'm sorry about all that. He's kind of pissed. Yeah, he told me. Why did you think that was a good idea? I was trying to prove a point to him. And what was that? Your dad, he doesn't really like me. He doesn't think what I do is a real job. Okay? But really, you do have a job. I know, but he just gets to me. He's more intense than you are, you were right. I didn't believe you. But at the same time, he's just... What's the right word to say it? He outpaces me with that, you know? I get it. He never lets me talk. He never really did a lot for me whenever I was younger. He just was so obsessed with work, along with my family's reputation. Oh. My family never really had one of those. I guess it starts with me. I'll carry on my mother's at least. And I hope that people at least associate me with her, not Hasashi. Okay, I understand that. My dad kinda hated me whenever I was younger. Thinking back on it now that I'm Me, I guess I could see why. I always wanted to be a pro hero, and he always said I could never be a pro. It's just, his words, they hurt me. I thought if I trained hard and became a pro hero, he just, he'd at least love me a bit more. He'd be happy, he'd encourage me. But the day I became a pro, he just got angry. It was a type of anger I've never seen from him. Sure, he's not a good dad. Sure, he worked himself to death so I can go through school. But it's just, I don't know. I never felt like he was there. It feels like for every major thing I've ever done or achieved, he's either, I don't know, angry or annoyed. Does that make sense? I get it. He might have thought that if you were that rowdy teenager and you turned into you, I just, why would he do that? Now, Deku himself is trying to think. He can't find the right reason. The way her father does act and try to present himself to Deku. He's trying to think about why. Sure, he is a good father, providing and giving Mirko what she does need, but he never encouraged her. He put her down, and she wanted to show herself. She wanted to be herself. She just wanted to be who she wanted to be. And her father, he just seems to be distant. Now, Mirko, she actually is trying to think. As the two, they do just stay there for a second. And a phone does go to ring. Now, Deku, he actually is going to pull out his phone. Answering it as he is going to someone just sit backwards and ask who's there. Now, Deku, he actually is going to turn and stand up. As next over, Mr. Yaru's voice is popping on the other end of the line. Hello, Mr. Bakugo? Yes, Mr. Yaruzu? Yes. I would like to speak to you. I understand we spoke the other day. However, I had to be brief. But are you free to talk to me right now? I'm sorry, but that meeting, it was very important. No, I understand, sir. And yes, Deku looking at Mirko, as he's going to point to his phone and at least mouth the words, my boss. Mirko at least just nodding before actually going to somewhat lean back. As she's going to set down the glass and go to at least switch her other hand with the ice pack. Now, Mr. Yaoyorozu, he does start to inform Deku that because of Deku's invention, some very, very influential people, they do wish to know more. Deku and his team of inventors, because of what they've done, Mr. Yaoyorozu, he does believe that since they are classified as an independent company, there should be a bit of a show off of the inventions they've created. Now, Deku's kind of confused. A show off? Yes. It does appear that major corporations, such as our rival corporation, the Intelli Agency, and, well, the other ones that are problems, they do seem to be very, very interested in buying your company. Huh? I'm sorry? Company? Yes. It was as per the agreement we made. I'm sorry. I just. I think I've. Crap, that's right. Yes, Monsieur, I understand. Yes. The media would also like to cover these inventions. Many other scientists and even engineers, they do wish to show off everything at a gala. A gala? Yes, sort of. It's more like they wish to see what inventions they might want to buy the rights of. Okay, I see, but I don't understand. We give you first dibs. Yes, Mr. Bakugo. I understand that that was as per our agreement. However, this is also the company's chance to gain access to more interesting tech. Now, Deku, he doesn't understand the way he phrased that. Interesting was in quotes. Mr. Yaozu does wish to see if more of his technology may have gotten leaked in. The chance that his tech might be present at that gala. So, he understands. Now, this is only confirmed by his next sentence. He wishes for Deku to attend the gala as a guest, and if he does see anything that does pertainly look interesting, he wishes for Deku to at least make an offer in his name. Now, Deku he does understand. As the man, he does at least inform Deku that he cannot go alone, and that he might encounter problems, so they will try to send a bodyguard with him. Now, Deku he does get an idea. No, Monsieur Yaruzu, please cancel that bodyguard. Hmm? What? Yes, I believe I know the perfect person who can come with me. Now, Mr. Yaruzu he's very surprised, as he does hang up the phone after Deku does at least confirm to him a few things. Now, with that being said, Deku was told that this tech gala was being held on New Year's Eve. Or let's just say, actually, it's going to be held on the Friday. Now, this is very interesting to Deku. This basically means that they have a couple days to prepare the inventions to move. And even then, will everything go smoothly? Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed. Have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.